The GUNPOWER 24-inch smart monitor target has a lot of cool and useful features. In this video, we wanted to go in depth with each pre-installed program as well as explain some of its not so obvious functions. Just a heads up, this is going to be a bit of a long video since there's a lot of information to cover. First, let's answer some commonly asked questions, with the first being, what BB weight and FPS is recommended for use with my GUNPOWER target? We recommend that you use BBs under about 0.3 grams and under 400 FPS at a distance no closer than about 6 feet. Heavier BBs at greater speeds will more quickly wear this protective layer. This layer is replaceable and it's recommended to change it about every 50,000 rounds or so. That said, we've had these screens in our shooting ranges and at events for the last year at least since SHOT Show of last year, and we've yet to swap them out. In any case, just use your best judgment and don't shoot at it closer than about 6 feet. If you're using heavier BBs and higher FPS, maybe just back up some more so you don't risk damaging the protective layer or the screen underneath. Let's get into the features starting with the I/O. On the back of the screen, there's a toggle power switch, your 12-volt power socket, and an Ethernet LAN port, as well as two USB 3.0 ports. The USB ports are for peripherals like the control box, and the Ethernet port is for communicating with GUNPOWER servers as well as other smart monitor targets. More on that later. If you watched the first video about the overview, you understand the basic construction of the SMT target, but something we didn't really touch on is the usefulness of this plastic tray insert at the bottom inside the metal tray. That's actually there to help absorb the BB impacts once they fall from the screen, keeping them from bouncing out of your tray. So it's important to leave this in here, Jet. In fact, they've made it more easily removable with the included suction cup. While the tray is useful for catching BBs, of course it's not going to catch them all, especially if you're using higher powered airsoft guns or you're getting kind of an off-angle bounce. So you will have some that you'll need to clean up. But I'd say a good majority will land right in the tray for easy cleanup. There are a few different ways you can navigate the menus of your SMT. One way is to use the included USB control box. The buttons are responsive and big enough and separated enough that if you wanted to set it on the floor and tap them with your shoe, you can. It also has a 1/4-20 UNC mounting point for mounting on a tripod or other mounting surface. We found that especially useful when mounting to a tripod because you could have the control box elevated right next to the shooter instead of putting it on the floor. Another way to navigate the menus is to plug in a keyboard and mouse using the USB 3.0 ports on the back. You can use arrow keys on the keyboard, or when you plug in a mouse, a cursor appears and you can simply click on the menu item that you want. We think the coolest way, though, is to navigate the menus on the SMT target by shooting them. In fact, you don't even need to lose your sight picture to swap between different programs. And yes, the screen is responsive enough for foam darts. The next thing I wanted to show you is the options screen. By selecting the gear icon in the upper corner, you can access the options screen where you're able to do things like adjust the volume, the size of the impact decal, and other useful tools. I particularly like adjusting the volume because this thing's loud. Don't forget to save any changes you make before returning to the CP or the command post. From the command post page, you can choose to display the programs in order, either by your most recently accessed, alphabetical, or just your favorites. To favorite a program, simply select the star icon on the rightmost portion of the program bar. It's the one surrounded with the circle thingy. After you select a program to run, you'll need to confirm that you're ready to start the program in order to begin play. This also gives you an opportunity to back out if you change your mind. Once a program is started, you'll either need to complete the course or use the included control box to enter the correct sequence to back out. Thankfully, that sequence is listed on the control box. All right, that's enough talk about basic functionality. Let's show you the different game modes that come pre-installed on your GUNPOWER SMT. This first one on the list is called aiming. This consists of an array of 12 dots that will randomly light up and fade away. It's your goal to shoot the glowing dots before they fade, kind of reminiscent of the G&G 5x5. The score is based on how much time it takes to engage 20 targets and how many times you miss. Next down the list is Command 1, which will display a randomized target and give you a random objective. You'll have 4 misses allowed for each objective, and if you fail to complete the objective, you'll lose a life, indicated by these skulls up here. The game is slow-paced, but rewarding. Make it through all 25 stages to get a score. Next up is the classic criminal target. It's straightforward and gives you 10 shots to get the best score possible. There are a lot of good applications for this target, especially if you have multiple SMT targets. You can set them up in a shoot house or move into and out of an engagement, testing your accuracy while on the move. Next down the line is a two-player game that's called Flip Flop. The object of this game is to control more of the board than the opposing player. Each player takes turns firing 3 shots at the opponent's tiles. The game tells you which tiles to hit. It's super competitive and it's all about accuracy, but it really needs 2 players to fully enjoy. Next, we have another classic target, the hostage. Just like the criminal target, you're given a score based on the accuracy of 10 shots. Then we have Shot Timer. This one is very useful, not only for various target exercises, but also because after you fire 10 shots, you're given information on how much time passes between impacts, otherwise known as split times. It is effectively a shot timer. Next on the list is the target, which presents you with a classic bullseye style of target and a few other silhouettes to shoot at. This screen will reset every 10 shots and is more to test your accuracy with no time limit. The next 2 modes on the menu, Training 1 and Training 2, are both compatible with multi-screen mode. Once you select one of these modes, you're taken to an option screen that lets you play the game with just one screen or in multiple. If you just want to do one screen, select the Master option and then select Shooter Ready. The single screen will cycle through all of the game screens of that given game. Up to 4 of these screens can be connected for multi-screen play. Follow these steps to connect multiple screens together. First, you'll need Ethernet cables and a router. You might be wondering if a simple network switch would work. We attempted to use it with a switch. It wouldn't function properly, so make sure you're using a router. Connect all the screens to the router's ports and then navigate each screen to the appropriate game mode. Select one screen, the one you want to start on, to be the master, and every other screen as slave. Once each screen displays the appropriate setting on the top, you can select Shooter Ready from the master screen and the game will begin. Each step in the game will appear on the next screen in the sequence. If less than 4 screens are connected, the game will reuse screens until the game is completed. The master screen is the one that controls the game, whether the game starts, provides information on the split times, so on and so forth. When you select master or slave for all the screens before starting the game, you'll want to verify that each respective screen shows a number so that you know they've all connected and communicated to each other. Remember that while the smart monitor targets can be connected for up to 4 screens, you don't have to have 4 in order to make the multi-system work. Anything less than 4 and the program screens will cycle between the available screens. The last 2 target modes are zeroing and zeroing 1. Zeroing is very useful, especially if you're trying to zero an optic for your airsoft gun, like a red dot or an optic with some amount of zoom that you want to make more accurate to your hop-up settings, as it has no shot limit or shot timer. Zeroing 1 measures a grouping of 5 shots, designating them with a circle. This can be useful if you're changing weights of BBs to find the most consistent for your barrel and setup, or if you're trying to fine-tune some accuracy in a given shooting setup or location. Congratulations, you've made it to the end and we've covered just about all of the features that this unit has to offer. For more information, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here and click the bell notification icon. Also check out our other social media accounts. We've got links for those in the description. If you have questions specifically about your product or you need support in any way, make sure you contact us. Again, we've provided links in the description of this video. Never stop training and always be safe. See you guys later.